Hey, good morning, Forex traders. We've actually had a change just in the last few minutes while I was finishing up my thoughts for this show. But anyway, good morning, you guys. This is Vance out of the United States, out here in the Seattle area. Welcome to my morning prep for Forex trading. It's Thursday, February 12th. You can follow me on Twitter at Forex Art of War if you want to know when I'm doing these particular sessions. I just spent a lot more time this morning reading up in the world and getting a better feel for what's happening. So I'm going to share my thoughts with you. By the way, right now, we were looking, I'll just go ahead and break from what I was going to say and say that here been looking for days for this to come out of the 1353 level. As you can see, it did that and pulled back right here. Because of the rapidness of the move, I probably would have popped out to the 1 minute and looked for the proper place to put the fib. See, you see this wave here, move up, move down, and then here's the next one that comes out of the range, and that's the one that you would have potentially been looking for right there. As you can see, it pulls back just past 38.2. Let's see what the strength of that advance was. Before I do that, let me get this adjusted correctly. And then yeah, about 22. So this would have been a nice trade here as it pulled back. It's coming out of the range for the first time with some strength at about 22 pips on the range of advance, and then pulls back just below 38.2 and then makes a second push. Okay, so now we're into the second push above that level, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. I want to stress that what I do here is for educational purposes only. I also want to show you very quickly. Let me just get there. And just want to show you, if you go to forexartofwar.com, I'm only charging for coaching now. So I'm putting up a complete series of all of my 10 years of experience of Forex trading right here. I'm going to keep adding those, but you go to forexartofwar.com, look for this banner here, or look for my YouTube channel, Forex Art of War. But, you know, basically, I'm going to put everything right there. All right, so let's see what else. Well, let's talk a little bit about the fundamentals. Greece, of course, has remained the top story. The leaders involved in the negotiations are now talking about meeting again on Monday after failing to get a deal today. The Swiss at Riksbank lowered interest rates today, actually to a negative, and announced a bond buying program. That's basically quantitative easing, even though it was a small amount, about 10 billion. But Riksbank is the oldest central bank, and this appears to be discouraging central banks from parking their money there. You know, because they've created a cost now for doing so. As I said, they also announced a quantitative easing program. It's a kind of a small one. This is probably going along with adopting the policy of many banks, hoping to control inflation in this way. It looks like the US dollar has seriously reinforced its position as the world's reserve currency, given things like we've been seeing, like what the Swiss have done and Japan have taken steps to make storing money in reserves in the yen and franc is unattractive. So on Monday, you know, looking at the euro, let's go back to 30-minute. It appeared to me that the central banks were propping up the euro. And I think this is probably true. The volumes in that range, just prior to this break here, have continued to be much higher than average trading days, even when it's moving up 70 or 90 pips. The volume is actually higher inside of this range, which was very interesting. And it's relative volume. It's just what I can see through pretty sizable broker, but I just noticed it's up higher. Carney out of England was very positive about the UK economy, projecting almost 3% growth in the next year. It appears to me that they might be positioning for an interest rate increase, probably a surprise, even though they haven't officially been projecting one until 2017. And so we can see the pound's got a nice little bump this morning, probably on the heels of that information. Just a bit ago, about 5 minutes ago, received some information about retail sales in the United States. It was a little bit negative across the board, which is what probably freed up this euro movement that we're seeing right now. But at the same time, if you eliminate falling gas prices, the data was actually a little bit positive for retail sales in the United States. So I'm not sure why they're reacting this way, because it was actually positive. Anyway, maybe they just figured it was time to go. In the major bank trades, one of the majors picked up a pound. Let me pop over the pound dollar. This pound dollar 30-minute. They picked up a pound dollar trade right here, 152.20 right here. They had entered that order yesterday, and they're almost to their target, which is 154.00. They're only about 12 points off that right now. Let's see. The same bank is shorting the euro against the pound and yen. It really makes sense to me, shorting the euro pound given positive data. You know, it seemed like this bank seemed to kind of have a really good read in advance on this, because they made plays on both of them that were pretty sizable gains. So I'll keep my eye on that. The rest of the banks are pretty quiet. One of the top earners stopped out of the pound dollar sell, you know, still kind of looking the other way. But I'll go over the specific banks and more information in our team live trading room this morning. Bottom line, the majors are pretty quiet, with the top earners showing some amazing precision on that last move on the pound. Okay, so looking at the charts, I kind of popped into that at the red beginning. Let's go back to that and drop down to a 1 minute because of the fast move. Now let me show you this. We watched this first move here. Excuse me. It's not this one. It's this one. Let me just kind of put a line. It starts here and goes up to there, and then pulls back to there. So then we had our second move that was just forming right here, which begins here and goes up here, and you can see another almost identical pullback, a little more than 50%, and then it makes a second push. So this is exactly what we're looking for. So again, two nice little trades already just coming out of that range just in the last 10 minutes. Now I want to, just for those of you who are new, who haven't followed what I do, once you get this push, pull back and second push, there's no psychology left in terms of high probability for us to anticipate it to go higher. We need something else. It's already played out. So that's why you're likely to see this kind of stall a little bit here. Now, if it makes another move and stretches out with enough strength, we can consider possibly another trade. Let me actually look at this here. Let me see how strong this. See, this does advance here a little bit. Let's see how strong this is. It's only 13, and let's see what the previous one was. The previous one was really nice, 24, and the one before that was 21. So I really like this one. See, what these are, I developed these rules for using the fibs to accurately gauge buyer-seller strength when they have an advantage. And it looks a little messy here, but it really is very accurate. And what this shows me is that this first move, this first trade that we saw, only had a strength of 21 pips. The second one was 24. So this was showing you that the sentiment was much stronger here. So this was actually the better trade right here. Obviously, it pulled back a little farther. It's calming down now, but in terms of real time taking a trade, this was the less risky trade of the two. But they were both pretty good. These are trades that I talk about all the time. So if you want to look at a euro trade, you want to be looking at another advance above 1371. The pound, for me, you know, this happened kind of early in the morning. This happened before I got here, and you know, generally if I show up and see this, you know, and this is probably, you know, 100 plus pips of movement, it's 172. Generally, when I show up and see, you know, anything over 100, I just feel like this is the bus left the station without me, and I just tend to stay out of this. So what I would need is I would need this to consolidate and kind of regain a little bit of its strength before considering a trade. I really prefer trends that are a little bit younger, and they're just much higher probability when they move, because when they, let's say the trend's only about 40 or 50 pips and it starts to move again, it's really likely to go to 90. So that's just me personally. Let's drop down to the 1 minute chart and just see what happened this morning as it was moving out. You know, it's going to be hard to do without taking a look at the important barriers. So there was one here, one right here, and then there was another one up here. I think I still got a rectangle on it. Another one right here. So as you can see, prices, you know, made it up above here. So it was very strong coming out of here. So probably whenever you see a move that just goes right through an obvious level, it means that the context for the trade is different here than it is here. Another way of thinking about that is the story that's moving the market here is different from the story that was moving the market here. That's something I go over with the traders on our team. But you know, it helps you to see when barriers matter and when they don't. All right, so now that we've got a couple of barriers in place where we might have seen some selling orders, because that's what we're looking at them for. Let's come back and see what happened. So yeah, as you can see here, when this comes up above here, this is actually potentially a nice little trade because it gets above this range right here. So this looks like a pretty good entry right here. That was, of course, later. This is really choppy. You see how choppy this is? This is really difficult to get on a trade. So anyway, again, for my own personal trading, I showed up. The bus had already left the station. So I'm just kind of doing a little review here for you guys. I don't really care for what I saw here, to be honest with you. I just don't like it. But the euro, on the other hand, going back to that, like I said, a couple of very nice trades, boom, boom, two of them real quickly. So you'd have to be really quick on the buttons. Finally, one of the things I can share with you is that in periods like this, like we've seen, last week there was a lot of staggered risk events that created uncertainty. This week we have the Greek story just kind of paralyzing the euro, and we also got a lot of changes in central bank policies, a lot of central bankers making little moves. But this type of thing where we see price, like we have, let me drop down to a 30-minute here, where we see it just kind of frozen in a range like this. This does happen from time to time. And the key to staying out of trouble when that's happening is knowing exactly what you're looking for in a trade. If you're not clear about what you're looking for, you're much more likely to get involved in a trade that's high risk, because emotions convince you that there's a trade there when there's not. So what we've seen the last 2 weeks is just, it's normal. The weeks before that, I had 3 trades. The week before that, going back more than 2 weeks, I had 3 trades the week before and 3 trades the week before that. And then, 1 trade last week. And then I've just been kind of sitting here since then looking for my trade. So just keep in mind, this is part of trading, Let's see, looking around, the Australian dollar, I'm still not interested in it right now. Neither am I the Kiwi. The yen was on the move yesterday, and you can see it dropped way down in early lending trading. The CAD, same thing, correcting. Euro pound, you can see on the positive news out of the UK, its relationship with the euro. You see a nice big drop here. I think you have to be a little bit more skilled to be able to read and trade that kind of data. Swiss franc has been, US dollar franc has been gaining a bit. So looks like I've got 2 euro pound charts. Let me get rid of one of those. That's about it, guys. I think I'm going to be content to just let this week go and prep for next week. Now, we have President's Day on Monday here in the United States. It's also my birthday. So since it's a big holiday, the kids are out of school, and it's my birthday, I'm going to take the day off. So I hope everybody understands. So that's that. All right. So traders, in about 40 minutes, the members on our team, the people that I work with and coach, and I'll meet you guys in our live trading room. And to the rest of you, hope you got at least one thing out of the session to help you with your trading. Bye now.